Now, when is this marriage happening?
We are looking at the middle of next year, Tati.
That long? What do you have to say about this?
No problem, uncle. We can do it in a day.
Oh?
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking. Join the People's Bank Digital Banking revolution now.
Both the loan and the wedding in one day.
Must be your lucky day.
People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
In a few moments, the news.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
It's precisely 1:15. This is the news on Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News is edited by Romesh Piris and read by Sabrina Zawahir. The headlines. The President's spokesman says the head of state wants to create a people-centric economy. The COVID vaccination drive continues across the island. The epidemiology unit says COVID-19 positive cases reported daily is on the rise. The Defence Secretary says the CID may record a statement from the former AG regarding his comments on the Easter Sunday attacks. The Technical Committee recommends schools with less than 200 to start in October. A circular issued to expedite child abuse cases to be given priority. The UAE lifts restrictions on entry of fully vaccinated residents from Sri Lanka and other countries. And in world news, memorial ceremonies held in the US for 9/11 victims of the attack. Now the local news in detail. The President's media spokesman Kingsley Ratnayaka says there are misconceptions regarding rice mill owners, rice traders and the rice shortage. Ratnayaka says given the current situation in the country, President Rajapaksa enacted the emergency regulations for the provisions of essential food items in accordance with the powers vested in him under Section 2 of the Public Security Ordinance. The PMD spokesman explained that this decision was taken by the President with the primary objective of protecting the consumers and discharging responsibility of people-friendly government. At the same time, a Commissioner General of Essential Services was appointed to coordinate and oversee the distribution of consumer goods in order to maintain the livelihood of the people. The proposal made by the President to enforce the emergency regulations was also tabled in Parliament recently and passed by a majority recently. Ratnayaka noted that the government has spent over 500 billion rupees for COVID-19 mitigation activities. He remarked that this shows the government led by the President is committed to the people in the face of the current situation in order to ensure that the livelihood of the people is not disrupted. The Ministry of Health will be continuing with its COVID vaccination programs that are operative island-wide today. Both Sinopharm jabs are available in many vaccine centres in the Western Province, Southern, Central, Northwestern, North Central and Uva provinces. The second dose of the Moderna vaccine will be available at all MOH offices in the Kandy district. Meanwhile, 225,521 individuals have been administered vaccines against the coronavirus yesterday. The epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health said 10,544,237 Sri Lankans have thus far been fully vaccinated. More information on vaccination centres operating today and types of inoculation administered can be obtained by visiting the official website of the Health Ministry, www.health.gov.lk. The epidemiology unit announced with another 914 COVID-19 positive cases reported today, the daily total in Sri Lanka increased to 2,796. The total count of positive coronavirus cases found in Sri Lanka currently is at 483,274 and 411,233 of them have made complete recoveries. There are only 60,895 active cases being treated in various hospitals across the country. The total number of COVID-19 deaths in Sri Lanka stands at 11,152. The technical committee appointed to look into the possibility of starting schools has made recommendations that schools with less than 200 children could start in October. The committee met yesterday under the chairmanship of the Director General of Health Services. The technical committee, set up by the Presidential Task Force, met at the Ministry of Health to look into the possibility of opening schools. Officials from the Ministry of Education, the Institution of Pediatricians, specialists from the Institute of Epidemiology, the officers of the Family Health Bureau, and the Government Medical Officers Association participated. This news is brought to you by Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking.
Continuing local news, a circular has been issued to reduce the time taken to hear child abuse cases in the High Courts. Hence, the Judicial Service Commission has issued the circular to all the High Court judges. This circular has been issued considering a request made by the National Child Protection Authority regarding the delay in hearing child abuse cases. Accordingly, it is slated that High Court judges are expected to give priority to child abuse cases. The UAE will lift its restrictions on entry for fully vaccinated residents from today. On Friday, the United Arab Emirates said that it will allow the return of those vaccinated fully with WHO-approved COVID-19 jabs and holding valid residence visas from 15 nations previously on the suspended list, including Sri Lanka. Passengers from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Namibia, Zambia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, Sierra Leone, Liberia, South Africa, Nigeria and Afghanistan can now enter the UAE. The decision to lift the travel ban comes as Dubai is preparing to open the Expo 2020 World Fair on October 1st after a year-long delay due to the coronavirus pandemic. The Leader of the House and Minister of Education, Dinesh Gunawardena, says they are in the process of creating a new up-to-date education system. Speaking at a meeting of the Consultative Committee on Education held in Parliament, the Minister said a need exists to formulate a process and fill many vacant posts of school principals. Also speaking at the meeting, State Minister Susil Priyamjanta said that they were faced with the daunting task of resolving teacher salary anomalies. He added protocols need to be introduced to the placement of teachers in schools island-wide. The State Minister also revealed of plans to convert colleges of education into state universities. According to police, 669 suspects have been arrested in the past 24 hours for violating the curfew regulations. It is reported that 38 vehicles have also been taken into police custody. So far, 69,957 persons have been arrested for violating curfew regulations. Meanwhile, 1,982 persons have been inspected at roadblocks set up at 13 entry and exit points in the Western Province, and 1,431 vehicles have also been inspected. The police said 242 people and 318 vehicles were diverted due to a lack of permits to travel. Young artist Yohani De Silva has created history in Sri Lanka as her song Manike Mage Hite had been viewed by over 2 million users on YouTube subscribers. The song Manike Mage Hite is a song by Sadishan Ratnayaka. This song was again sung by Yohani as a cover version in May 2021. The lyrics were written by Dulan ARX. The song was also recently released in English and Hindi after earning massive online plaudits. With that, we conclude the local news. The main news story follows.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Defence Secretary, retired General Kamal Gunaratne, says Sri Lanka's Criminal Investigations Department may record a statement from the former Attorney General, Dapula de Oliveira, with regard to his comments on the Easter Sunday attacks. The Defence Secretary further mentioned that after retiring, the Attorney General is a normal citizen and can be called before the Criminal Investigations Department to record a statement if the need arise. That was our main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Light.
The Chief Medical Officer of the Colombo Municipal Council, Dr. Ruan Vijayamuni, says it has been observed during the past few weeks that there is a lack of enthusiasm among the youth in Colombo City to get COVID-19 vaccines. Dr. Vijayamuni said that the CMC hoped to provide around 7,500 vaccines a day, but managed to give around 5,000 until yesterday. He noted the reason being that most of the youth demand the more popular Pfizer vaccines. Dr. Vijayamuni once again stressed to get the vaccine available in order to prevent the spread of COVID. That came to you in Watchlight. Next up is the World News.
World News.
The headlines of the World News. Memorial ceremonies held in the US for 9/11 victims of the attack. Iraq's Erbil airport targeted in drone attack. Prince Andrew served with legal papers for sex abuse lawsuit. Now the World News in detail. People in the United States are marking the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The attacks killed 2,977 people. In New York, a memorial ceremony started at around 8:30 a.m. local time at the site of the World Trade Center. Bereaved families as well as President Joe Biden, the First Lady, and former Presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton were in attendance. The participants offered prayers 6 times at the instant the 4 planes had crashed into their targets and when each of the twin towers had collapsed. The names of the victims were also read aloud, one by one. The names are engraved in parapets surrounding 2 memorial pools. Kurdish security officials say Erbil International Airport in northern Iraq has been targeted in drone attack, the latest in a series of similar incidents over the past year. The Internal Security Service for Iraq's autonomous Kurdish region, of which Erbil is the capital, initially said 3 rockets had hit near the airport. A second statement by the Kurdish counterterrorism force said that the attack had been carried out by 6 explosive-laden drones. There were no immediate reports of casualties. Witnesses said they heard at least 6 explosions in the area. The lawyers for a woman who has accused Prince Andrew of sexual abuse say they have served the senior British royal with legal papers for a lawsuit. Prince Andrew is being sued in New York by Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who says he had sex with her when she was 17. Andrew has denied similar allegations from Giuffre in the past. In an affidavit filed in a New York court on Friday, a process server hired by Giuffre's legal team to give formal notice of the lawsuit to Andrew said he left the papers with the Metropolitan Police security detail at the main gates of Andrew's home, the Royal Lodge in Windsor. That ends World News. Prior to concluding, the headlines of the World News once again. Memorial ceremonies held in the US for 9/11 victims of the attack. Iraq's Erbil airport targeted in drone attack. Prince Andrew served with legal papers for sex abuse lawsuit. With that, we conclude the World News. Next up is the development news. Taking a look at the development news, the Minister of Highways, Johnston Fernandez, says the construction work of the second phase of the Central Expressway from Mirigama to Kurunegala is expected to be vested with the public by November 15th. His remarks came during a tree planting event along the Central Expressway from Mirigama to Potuhera under a green project to plant 1 million trees on roadsides. That ends development news.
Sports news.
Taking a look at the sports news, first is cricket. The second T20 international night match against the Proteas will get underway at the R. Premadasa Stadium tonight. Sri Lanka, as ever, need a batting revival to turn the series around. Although several of their bowlers were expensive on Friday, that has recently been their strongest suit. South Africa, bolstered by the return of Curtin de Kock and David Miller, racked up their fifth T20 victory in succession. Taking a look at tennis, Emma Raducanu ended Britain's 44-year wait for a women's Grand Slam singles champion as she beat Leila Fernandez to win the US Open in the most thrilling style. The 18-year-old ended her scarcely believed run in New York with 6-4, 6-3 win over 19-year-old Canadian opponent in a high-quality final. Raducanu threw herself to the floor in disbelief as she fired down an ace to conclude what has been the most remarkable journey. She became the first British female winner at Flushing Meadows since Virginia Wade in 1968. She will take home £1.8 million in prize money, rise to the 23rd in the world rankings, and will become the British #1 from tomorrow. That ends sports news.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are. Download the NSB Pay app from the Play Store or the App Store for free now. For more information, call your nearest NSB branch or 0112 379 379. Conditions apply.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
EFL Global Logistics Private Limited, a fully owned subsidiary of Expo Lanka Holdings PLC, has acquired 100% equity interest of Complete Transport System LLC for a purchase consideration of $6,100,000 earlier in the week. Complete Transport System LLC is a company incorporated in the United States offering bonded container freight station and trucking services. That ends Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are.
Economic news. courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The government of Sri Lanka and the World Bank recently signed a $40 million additional financing for the ongoing water supply and sanitation improvement project to increase access to the piped water services and improved sanitation. This additional financing will expand water supply, sanitation and hygiene services in 7 districts, reaching more than 1 million people. The project aims to increase the coverage of piped water by constructing new urban, rural and estate water supply schemes and rehabilitation existing schemes to provide households with a continuous supply of safe water. The project operates in Kegalle, Ratnapura, Munaragala, Badulla, Nuwara, Kilinochchi and Mullaitivu districts. That was Economic News.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report. Finally, it's a look at the weather report. Several spells of showers will occur in the Sabaragamu and western provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts. A few showers will occur in the northwestern province. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uwa and eastern provinces in the evening or night. Mainly, fair weather will prevail elsewhere. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected in the northern and north-central provinces and in the Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. That was the weather report. Prior to concluding this bulletin of news, the headlines once again. The President's spokesman says the head of state wants to create a people-centric economy. The COVID vaccination drive continues across the island. The epidemiology unit says COVID-19 positive cases reported daily is on the rise. The Defence Secretary says the CID may record a statement from the former AG regarding his comments on the Easter Sunday attacks. The Technical Committee recommends schools with less than 200 to start in October. A circular issued to expedite child abuse cases to be given priority. The UAE lifts restrictions on entry of fully vaccinated residents from Sri Lanka and other countries. With that, we conclude the news and over to my friend.